MyPillow had a pretty terrible holiday weekend after his promised lawsuit turned into a real turkey. Which means it's time for another episode of Pillow Talk.
God gave me this platform. I already know I'm going to win.
China did our vote. Biden and Harris would say, hey, we're here to protect the country, and resign.
Mike Lindell's a conspiracy.
But you haven't.
Just forget about the evidence. This was attacked.
MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell had lashed out over the weekend during his 96-hour thanks-a-thon. You know, the whole 96-hour thing that was supposed to culminate in him delivering this lawsuit that was supposed to be accepted by the Supreme Court, 9-0. And he was supposed to have all this support from Republicans, attorneys general, all over the states. Because there's fraud. There's fraud in all 50 states. There's fraud everywhere. So much fraud. And we've got all the evidence right here. Well, turns out, no, it didn't really work out for him very well. In fact, starting on Friday, after none of this happened, another failed prediction, Lindell decided to go after members of the right, especially right-wing media, for not buying into his lawsuit, not spreading information about it, or not supporting it enough, not pressuring attorneys general to actually sign on to it. In fact, he had this to say about Christian radio network Salem Radio. So this is the Salem Radio Network. They host the likes of Dennis Prager and Sebastian Gorka. Yes, good old Seb Gorka. Now, here's what he said about them. They haven't had me on for a long, long time. They won't talk about why I was canceled. Because you're spreading insanity? He then called the network, which is very, very pro-Trump, by the way, worse than the likes of Dominion voting systems, you know, the people that are supposedly have done the fraud, and the obviously mysterious foreign entities, China, the Chinese Communist Party, the Iran, whatever. Insert supposedly bad foreign actor here that he believes stole the 2020 election from Donald Trump. No, we stole the election from Trump. That was all us here in the States saying, yeah, no, we're going to opt to not go with another 4 years of complete and utter insanity. We're just going to go for milquetoast normal. Which sucks. I agree, it sucks. But it is still better than 4 years of absolute insanity. All right, so now this isn't all. On Saturday afternoon, he took it a little step further, saying that right-wing Salem radio host MyPillow Promotions will no longer work next week. With Salem, nobody gets to sell MyPillow products going forward. You are done selling MyPillow products. You realize that actually hurts you more than it hurts them, right? Yeah, I know. Lindell pays for advertising, etc. But that advertising then turns into direct sales, which you're supposed to actually gain more from those direct sales than you spend on advertising. If you're not a moron and know how to run a business, generally that advertising budget, you already have the costs laid out, and you're supposed to get, again, a gigantic revenue boost from spending money on advertising. That's marketing 101. But again, we're talking about conservatives here. We're talking about MyPillow. And so obviously he knows absolutely nothing. Now, I just think about it this way, okay? I'm going to punish you for not advertising my pillows, literally my pillow, and somehow that is not going to hurt myself. They don't care. They don't care. The networks don't give a shit. They get more money from daddy billionaires than Mike's advertising budget could ever pay for. They're going to be okay. They're going to be fine. This is what MyPillow spends in advertising for his pillows it's pocket change for them, essentially. They get all their funding, all these right-wing networks. You got to understand that these right-wing networks, they're not making money. They're not doing very well financially. I remember The Blaze, which was supposed to be, Glenn Beck's, conservative network. we got the best, we got the biggest network, we're expanding everywhere. The Blaze hemorrhaged money for a very long time until what? What happens with all these right-wing sites? They get tons of money. Again, they're funded by a few very, very rich billionaires. Fox News, look, Fox News, when it started, I think it took about a decade for them to get out of the red. And then they finally, of course, were able to hit their stride, unfortunately for the rest of us, and start making money from advertisers and deals and things like that. Again, Fox News is pretty much the only successful conservative network that knows how to make money. Now, as far as everything else, One American News, well, One American News, 90%, this is recent, according to Reuters, 90% of OAN's revenue came from a contract with AT&T. AT&T literally said, let's build a right-wing network so I can get tax cuts. In fact, OAN founder and chief executive Robert Herring Sr. testified that he was offered $250 million for OAN back in 2019, and said that without that deal, without the DirecTV and all the AT&T money, the network's value would be nothing, zero. That's it. So they depend on gigantic donor money. While Lindell has money, yeah, he's got a few $1 million, he can throw towards Trump's campaign, etc. But he's not the big funder he thinks he is. And right now, his election fraud nonsense is not only grossly and easily disproven, it's also financially dangerous for anyone who gets involved. Dominion and Smartmatic have sued for billions of dollars, anyone who's been spreading the big lie, and have promised even more lawsuits, and have some pretty ample evidence of defamation for their lawsuit. They're going to win. They're going to win. They do not want to be around MyPillow when he goes down. With that context, let me give you his Sunday meltdown, which is lots of fun to watch.
You know how many people have worked hard, given up everything they had because they know this country is gone.
Right.
If we don't save it now. I'm not doing that. I didn't say this. I was angry, came out wrong, probably came out wrong, angry, and I'm frustrated. I've had it. It's like we work so hard here, all of you do out there, working so hard to get to something that should be so simple. That's, open up the machines. Of course, every state was illegal. You've got a Supreme Court case here now. Here's what's frustrating. We've worked hard on this. They're making a mockery out of it right now on Facebook and stuff. The media over here, the attack media. So where's our media?
Right.
Where's our media? The stuff in here, Mike doesn't have an attorney general yet. I talked to 20 some of them. They wanted some more time because they were helping our country and helping those kids. Those kids with so they didn't have to get shot.
You poor deluded man. Holy balls. Look, he's still, understand the guy is still stuck in cope. I know. No attorneys general signed on because they know mass voter fraud didn't happen. But MyPillow is invested. He's invested in this personally. And not only just financially, but personally. He's staked his entire reputation on it, which again isn't very much, but nonetheless for him, again, he believes. Literally believes his own bullshit. He has gotten high on his own supply. It's not going to be long, and this is my prediction. It's not going to be long till he compares himself to Jesus. Oh, look at that, they're pillaring me on the cross. It's bizarre. And understand, too, that this man was never mentally well to begin with. Look, one of you viewers on Twitch actually mentioned the story that TYT did, TYT Investigates, where it showed how Lindell had been manipulated by the family. I know it sounds like a mob, oh no, I'm reading a mob novel or something like that. No, it's real. The family, and they did manipulate a lot of people. They got him to meet with Donald Trump, and of course that's so that Donald Trump can go and get Mike Lindell as a big donor, and it's basically all about money. And so he's not a smart person and was easily manipulated by people, of course, that are their only motivation is money and power. And that's it. he's delusional. He's just delusional, not a smart person. I mean, think about it this way. Conservative groups looked at this guy, at this blithering moron, and thought, yummy in my tummy, oh yeah. Oh, there's somebody that we can use. Oh. They know a good chunk of the base is just as delusional as MyPillow. And they can be easily exploited for cash. But here's the thing. The grift is nearing the end. I don't think it's going to be profitable for that much longer to be at like the MyPillow conspiracy level of election fraud. Don't get me wrong. They're still going to talk about this. Conservatives, Republicans are still going to talk about this all the time. And look, we've already seen kind of like the tone shift on this. They're going to go and they're going to casually mention, without going into enough detail, to like trigger lawsuits, for example, defamation. And they'll just say, well, the election was stolen by them. Well, who's them? Yeah, the Democrats. Yeah, the Democrats stole the election, or, they did. The deep state, whatever. They're not going to, go and point out specifically Smartmatic. Again, these are the more intelligent Republicans that are, again, going to use this for political gain. And of course, look, the political gain that they're, using this narrative to milk is basically to try to justify putting in more voter ID laws and things like that, voter restrictions, voter purges, so they can gain and solidify power. That's what the narrative has always been about. Again, the voter fraud narrative is not new. It's been around for a very, very long time. And it's just a way to try to stop black people, students, Democrats, people who don't already vote in large enough numbers that they should or could. They just do that to prevent them from voting easily, to discourage people. Like, I don't want to wait in 6 hour, in a 6 hour line to vote. And I don't even know if my vote's going to matter because of my heavily gerrymandered district. I might as well just not vote at all. I might as well just not, participate in the democratic process. And that's exactly what they want you to do. They literally put these gigantic roadblocks and hoops in the way. And of course, like the Democrats, ain't nobody here excited by the Democrats. So again, that's another reason that there is so much voter apathy in the way. And then you stick a couple of extra hoops in the way, or Republicans do, and you're just like, fuck it. I ain't got time for this. It's not going to matter. And I'm actually disagreeing. I think it does matter, and I think you should go and vote. But I can understand the reasons why some people are turned off from this. Because you have these roadblocks and hoops and a terrible, like, disastrous Democratic Party that can't find its head out of, for anything, okay? It doesn't stand for anything, but that's a whole other segment aside. But they're playing on the apathy, and they're just making it worse. And so that's been the Republican playbook for, longer than I've been alive. I can tell you that, and they've admitted it in many different times, many different ways, sometimes right out in the open, saying, yes, we don't want more people to vote because guess what? When more people vote, when more people get involved in the electoral process, we don't win. We lose, and we lose power. That's always been the name of the game. And this entire narrative is going to continue to, it's going to continue as a result of that. Whether or not Lindell is going to go down, he's going to get sued to oblivion. But that's okay. He's the sacrifice that Republicans, that the people in power that want to stay in power, the moneyed interests, are more than willing to offer up. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.